What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another hot humid ass day on the Black Build YouTube channel. Today we're gonna be working on this H22 turbo EK hatch. I already started doing some things to it. When the car came in, it had a corrupt tune on it, so I got that started. Well, I got that figured out, started the car up, and the radiator started, well, the old radiator started pissing water out of it from somewhere. So we got us a Skunk 2 Alpha radiator that I'm putting in the car. I'm modifying the radiator support right now so that the radiator can fit further back in the support and have room to clear the downpipe. That way the downpipe's not resting on the radiator and causing the car to overheat. We also do have a spow fan that I'm putting on the car also. It's a 12-inch fan, and modified the radiator support. I cut out the old the old support that was on it because it was like flimsy and it was causing this to flex a lot. So I made this little rod that connects the upper radiator support to the traction bar, so that, and then I tied the bottom part of the radiator support onto the rod too also. So the hood closes perfectly fine now, and you don't have to fight it. Money like new. So I wish I would have started filming some more earlier, but thought I was going to be on a time crunch somewhat today, and then I got alleviated some time. Well, we're going to get a dyno ready today, and then the next video will probably see, well, yeah, we're probably going to start doing some pulls today, because we may or may not go to the track depending on what the weather looks like. It's supposed to be raining around 3 o'clock. They're having a local small tire shootout at the Test and Tune at Galot today, and we plan on bringing the Grand National there, or John plans on bringing his new car there, which y'all will see that car probably on the same day that I release this video. So yeah, stay tuned, guys, and I hope you enjoy this episode. All right, so radiator's in, it's all mounted up and pretty secure. I wrapped the upper radiator hose and the downpipe, so it should keep the heat out of the hose. The radiator is plenty far from the turbo manifold and the turbo, so it's another benefit. I have to unfortunately take the transmission out, because if you look down here, the ground's pretty saturated underneath the oil pan over on that side, and that's not oil from the motor, it's oil from the transmission. So just trying to get this car 100% when it gets on a dyno, so it can make easy power. When I give it back to the customer, there won't be any problems, and just, you know, overall just trying to take care of him so that he can be satisfied with my service. So gonna go ahead now, get the car properly racked up on the lift, and take the transmission out and get the axle seal replaced. Hopefully I can probably see if I can just squeeze by not taking the transmission out, and I can just get by just pulling the what the hell is that thing called, the hash shaft out, and getting the seal out without taking the transmission out. But more than likely I'm probably gonna have to take the transmission out. So it appears that I am not going to be able to fix the leak without taking out the trans. So I'm gonna start working on getting this thing out so we can put a new seal in it, put it back in it, and get it back on, and get it on the dyno. Okay, guys, so I figured out why this guy was having axle issues. Well, not axle issues, I should say. I figured out why he was having axle seal issues. All right, so before he had this OBD1, well, not OBD1, OBDO, like from a 80s, not 80s, but a like an early 90s Integra, like the second gen Integra, like a DA, and they use a different axle seal than the factory B series. Well, like not factory B series, but like the 94 and up hydro. So this is a cable transmission half shaft, and this is a hydro transmission half shaft, and they use two completely different axle seals. So this is the one that he had in the car before. Obviously it looks like it's broken before and they modified it or something like that, but other than that, this part right here where the axle seal is supposed to ride on was pushing his original seal back inside the transmission, and it tore it up on the diff. So you can see the hydro one is slightly smaller, and it will fit inside the axle seal that's in there. So I got the trans back in the car already and stuff like that, and I was just working, I forgot to film, and I got it back all together. I just got to put oil in the car, put the half shaft and axle in. I got to move this single cam off the dyno until his injectors come in, and then we're going to put this on the car and try to get some tuning done. I got the car strapped onto the dyno. I got a new tune loaded up in it. Got the coolant bled. I just need to verify ignition timing, and then we're going to start making some low cam pulls and eventually get into some high cam pulls. So it's been a couple days now. I have been fighting a really bad issue with the ignition for the last couple days. So the car had a Honda coil pack retrofit kit on there, and when I would give it more than 10% throttle and pass 4,500 RPM, it would cut out. And I wish I would have got it on video, but it was extremely annoying, and I just wanted to make sure everything was good on the dyno before I started filming. I know y'all want to see all of it, but sometimes like trying to film and explain everything and work on the car gets kind of hard, and I told y'all before, I'm always limited on how much time I get to record and work on stuff. So so we ended up taking let me tell you about the trials that I went through. So I changed the fuel filter, thought it was that. Took the injectors out, cleaned them, thought it was that. Checked timing, I checked wiring, fixed a bunch of wiring stuff because some of it was crimped or just electrical tape together. None of that fixed the problem. So I got on the forum. Well, my customer started sending me some stuff about some things that he was reading on Honda forum of the coil pack retrofit might be bad. So I took the coil pack retrofit off and I put a regular distributor on the car, and boom, I did a little test hit on the dyno and it went all the way through the RPM. So now we're back on the dyno now, and I did a first pull on low cam. It started out rich and then it leaned out. The fuel started running away, and this is what we got. We got 225 on, I think, about 10 pounds of boost on low cam, only revving it out to about 5,400 RPM, and as you can see, the fuel is still running away. So this is about, on 10 pounds, it is a sleeve motor. It's about 19 degrees of timing. I'm probably gonna add another degree and see if it picks up or it goes away, and I'm gonna richen this up right here, and I'm gonna lean this out. I'm still working on the fuel table. Before it to come in rich and then start to run away, that means I know I figured out where my fuel curve needs to start. So I already built the new fuel curve for it, and I'm about to make my second hit on the dyno. So filmed one low cam pull. I just kept working at it after the fuel kept running away. For some reason the boost controller is making the car creep on low cam, so it was hitting about 16 pounds at one point. So when I saw that, I stopped recording. I fixed the issue. So the vacuum pretty much was teeing into the boost controller, which sometimes it was teeing into the boost controller, which sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I just did a straight line to gate, which gate right now is about 13.5 pounds. I'm gonna keep doing gate until I get to well, on the next pulls I'm going to do high cam which should probably make about 2 more pounds in VTEC and make drop boost. It made 325 on low cam. It is falling off at about 5,200 RPM, which is about where I'm gonna enable VTEC. I am doing it by speed right now because the RPM is doing some weird shit on the dyno, so it's showing like it's hitting like 40,000 RPM. So I'm gonna let the car cool off. I do need to gap the plugs down because it was breaking up on this hit towards the end some. So it has NGK Iridium 8s in there, but I think I only gapped them to about 28 because I thought this thing was going to be on low boost. Wasn't really planning on trying to make a lot of power, but the car probably should make about 500 horsepower in VTEC. So or maybe no, I lied, it'll make about 460 horsepower in VTEC. So we'll see what it does make. I really do think it will probably make about 500 in VTEC, but if it doesn't, oh well, we'll just manipulate it with boost. I do probably need to change the gate spring in there and put something like 7-pound spring in there, and that's what I'm probably going to do. Let the car cool down, change the gate spring to make sure it's okay. And I already know that all of this is tuned and compensated to there, and then after that we'll tune VTEC, and then we'll start working on getting the boost control to work so we can do boost by gear. And we want to keep it as close to gate as possible in first gear, and in second gear we're going to keep it on like probably 12 pounds, and in third gear we'll probably do 15, and then fourth gear we'll just send it. Well, we'll send it to whatever it is. So hopefully it should probably be about on 18 pounds. 18 pounds on this turbo should probably make about 600 horsepower. But like I said before, we are limited on what rods are in there. They're Eagle H-beam rods. And if you follow Kyle on Boosted Boys, he had these same rods in his H22. And when his car spiked boost, it bent the rod. And his car was making about 650 horsepower at the time. So I'm trying to give it some wiggle room that in case it does spike boost, that we don't run into that error. And it's going to be set on boost cut too, so it's going to have a bunch of safeties on it so that when it does, in the event that something does fail, that the car will protect itself. Alright guys, so I got it to make about 296 on 10 pounds is what I logged on wastegate. So I changed the wastegate springs out, and I did one VTEC hit and it leaned out as soon as it went to VTEC, so I let out. So I'm about to put some more enrichment in VTEC and then make another pull. Alright guys, so last pull was about 372 horsepower. I'm targeting like 11.8 air fuel on here, but the reference line is a little bit lower. So I just did a pump gas car before this one, so it's at 11.3. But the fuel is trimming out at the end. I just need to clean up here a little bit and it'll be pretty much on the money. I'm gonna cross it over in the VTEC. It's about like 11.9, 12.0, which is fine. And then the power band really carries. It does make pretty good power, and this is on 10 pounds too, so we can double the spring, which is about 20 pounds, but I only plan on making about 5 more pounds on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to trim this out. I'm not going to make another hit on the 10 pounds. I'm just going to hook the boost controller up and then try to get the boost control tune close as possible. Well, try to figure out the boost controller, I should say.
20 minutes later.
So I've been messing with the boost solenoid for about like last 20 minutes, trying to get it to pulse so I can test it, and it is not working. So I swapped it out for another one, still not working. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm probably just gonna put a T in between wastegate line. Damn, this thing is even hot, so I don't understand how it's not pulsing. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a T, take this I don't know, connector out, put a T in between it, and see how much boost it'll make on that, and then we'll just leave it at that. I'm not trying to go into too much of trying to figure out what the hell's going on with this thing right now, because I have a shit ton of time in this car and really don't want to keep billing them for hours of time that I'm trying to get this thing figured out, and he's trying to come pick it up tomorrow too. Tomorrow is the only day off. So I am going to just, like I said before, put the T in there. Hopefully it'll probably make about 300 pounds. It'll be on 13 pounds. It should make about 420, something like that. And it should be good from there. And then go to the track, make some test hits, dial the car in, and then once we actually figure out what we can do about the boost controller. Oh shit, about fell off this damn thing. Equilibrium all jacked up. But once we figure out what we can do about the boost controller, then we'll put it back on the dyno, because he does plan on doing some more upgrades to the car, and we'll make some more power. Last pull, it made about 406. Pull before that, it made 415. But for some reason between here and here, I'm having a really bad ignition breakup. Even if I lean it out, I'm not leaning out, richen it up. Before it was 12.6, now it's 12.1. But it's still, the fuel is still running away some. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gap the plugs down a little bit more, and I already added some fuel, and I messed with the ignition time, and I pulled some timing out of it to see if that, well actually no, I left the timing alone. I lied. I left the timing alone because it's only at like 14 pounds right now, and it has 16 degrees in it, which is probably my problem on the 85. But I'm gonna actually, yeah, I'm gonna put like a degree back in it and see if it clears up. I'm also gonna check the plugs, pull them out, gap them, see if it solves the issue. I also noticed that the intake air temps are getting up there, so maybe we are reaching the limit of this intercooler, because yeah, it is. Yep, that's a problem. This intercooler is really hot on the other side. So because I did have the fan on it, I turned it off. So let me see. I'm gonna let it cool down all the way. I'm gonna put another fan on the intercooler, and gap the plugs down some more, and make one more hit, and see if it picks up and the breakup clears out. Like I told him before, that the intercooler really is inefficient, and it's probably like, we are at the limit of this intercooler. It's really small, it's really short, and it's not thick enough. It's like a 3-inch, but it's, the fins aren't, there's not enough surface area, I should say, on the intercooler. Normally this intercooler should cover up about this entire front end, but it's super short. So going to do like I said before, and then do one more pull, and then that'll probably be it for the rest of the day. So the final numbers we end up with are 429. Don't mind these two. I think the car is out of gas. It says it has half a tank in it, but when I did first get the car, it said half a tank, but I had to put another 5 gallons of gas in here, and it was still saying that it was half a tank. And then it went to full, and then it went back down to half a tank, and now it's at like a quarter. So tomorrow I'm just gonna go and get some ethanol, and I'm gonna turn it up a little bit more, but the fuel is stretching out, but it isn't running away though, which is the weird thing. And also on the data log, it's showing that like it just goes flat. The pull that y'all just saw, it's like on the data log, you see like it just zeros, basically like goes flat line. So I don't know if it, oh man, I don't know if the car is losing power, like voltage, or what. Let me see. No. I mean, battery voltage is pretty normal, 13.7. So I don't know. I'm gonna try a couple things tomorrow, see if I can get it into like 500 range, and it should be good to go from there. But as always, comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next upload.